No federal funds pay for abortion services at Planned Parenthood.
That's exactly right. Federal funding doesn't go to abortion services at Planned Parenthood.
Federal funding, as you probably know,
Yes.
does not pay for abortion services.
Many people hear this and think that none of our taxpayer dollars pay for abortions, but nothing could be further from the truth. Planned Parenthood is America's largest abortion chain, committing over 320,000 abortions per year, 887 abortions per day. And yet every year, Planned Parenthood gets over $500 million of our taxpayer dollars from state and federal governments, which averages to over $1.5 million per day. In an attempt to defend themselves, Planned Parenthood repeats over and over again their talking point that according to the Hyde Amendment, federal taxpayer dollars cannot pay for abortions in most cases. But keep in mind that the Hyde Amendment only covers federal funding of abortion, not state funding of abortion. 17 states, covering about 40% of the American population, use taxpayer dollars to pay for abortions through programs such as Medicaid. When you call a Planned Parenthood in one of these states, you hear something like this.
You sound like actually a perfect candidate for Medicaid, and they do cover terminations in full.
So a portion of Planned Parenthood's $500 million in government revenue comes directly from state taxpayer-funded abortions. But federal taxpayer dollars also pay for abortions. Under the federal program Title X, your federal taxpayer dollars directly pay for potentially abortion-causing emergency contraception such as Plan B and the morning after pill. Additionally, the Hyde Amendment is insufficient to stop federal funding from paying for Planned Parenthood's abortion business because money is fungible. The concept of fungibility works like this. Let's say 16-year-old Stacy wants to buy a big screen TV that costs $1,000. Stacy has $1,000, but she needs to spend $500 to fix her car. Her mom comes along and says, "I'll give you $500 to fix the car, but it is only for the car. No way am I giving you money to buy a TV. In fact, I'm only going to reimburse you after you pay to get the car fixed." Obviously, because of Mom, Stacy now has enough money to fix her car and buy the TV. Fungibility means that even though Mom restricted her money from directly paying for the TV, she still helped Stacy pay for it by freeing up Stacy's other money. The same is true for Planned Parenthood. They do things like abortions, birth control, STD testing and treatment, and marketing and lobbying. And they fund these operations with hundreds of millions of dollars in income and donations. So when the government comes along and gives Planned Parenthood hundreds of millions of our taxpayer dollars a year, even though it is technically restricted, it frees up plenty of that income and donation money to pay for their abortion operations, including the procedures, facilities, staffing, building costs, and other abortion-related overhead expenses. As former Planned Parenthood manager Sue Thayer says, it's all one big pot.
You know, you picture one big pot, and all the money goes into the pot because there weren't separate abortion facilities. I mean, it was a contraceptive clinic with an abortion facility in it. And there's no possible way to keep that money separate.
To use specific examples, when Planned Parenthood receives taxpayer money through Title X, that money can pay for the same receptionists and clinicians that assist with the abortion and the same facilities at which abortions are committed. In fact, call up a taxpayer-funded Planned Parenthood facility asking for an abortion, and this is what you get.
We tell you you're pregnant, and we also at Planned Parenthood to do the abortions.
We only offer like pregnancy tests and then abortion care if that's what you wanted to go with.
And it'd be $715. We do offer limited financial assistance. It is based on your household size and income.
We do abortion here.
But like with the 3 options, I guess I could do an abortion in the clinic. With the other 2 options, I would have to go outside of Planned Parenthood.
Right. Yep.
So when taxpayer money does fund abortion facilitators and does fund abortion facilities, how can anyone make the claim that federal taxpayer money does not fund abortions? If we take a look at these numbers over time, we can see that as government funding has increased, so have Planned Parenthood's abortions. Especially in the last 15 years, notice how the slopes of the graphs have a very similar shape. Planned Parenthood says that defunding them will deprive many people from basic health care. But that's completely up to Planned Parenthood. Understand, Planned Parenthood always has the option of keeping their $500 million in taxpayer money if they shut down their abortion business. But Planned Parenthood has refused this option.
President Trump says funding will flow in full if Planned Parenthood just agrees to stop performing abortions. Would you ever?
Absolutely not.
Even though Planned Parenthood says abortion is a small part of what they do, they give it such high priority that they are willing to stop giving other patients health care. This is why there is a massive and increasing demand from the American people to defund Planned Parenthood.
In fact, I hear that phrase so much, it sounds like defund Planned Parenthood is the new name of the organization.
So do what is best for healthcare and tell Congress and the President to defund Planned Parenthood. Go to liveaction.org/abortion corporation to sign the petition to defund Planned Parenthood. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.